welcome back to episode 31 of the Minecraft Survival Series. I'm gonna just make this intro short and sweet because it's my third time having to record it, thanks to a bunch of audio issues that I've been suffering throughout recording this video. The first one didn't have my voice at all. The second one I was way too loud. And I might have my volume up a bit too high for the rest of the video because I'm recording this absolutely last. Because the rest of the video seemed bearable, like I wasn't as loud as I had been in the intro. I apologize if I am. I haven't looked through the whole thing. But that's about it. Today we're going to be working on the terraforming outside of the museum. I'm not going to go out there because that would spoil the entire video because I've obviously already done all the work. But it's just, it's going to be connected down to the main area with my beginner builds. The path won't be floating as much anymore. And we can actually, it'll be a lot easier to walk up and down to the museum, even without the path. So, hopefully you enjoy. We're just gonna jump right into the time lapse because I did originally record myself getting like dirt. I did a little time lapse of that, but there's no point now because with all the issues I had, I just decided to get rid of that, actually. So, yeah, we're just going to go straight into the actual terraforming, and I will see you after that. Alright, so, if everything went to plan, you should have just seen the time-lapse. We've got a bunch of work done. Coming down here, I never finished it because I'm planning to make this into a cliff, actually, to lead down into this little ravine full of water here, and I'm going to do something with that eventually. Oh man, it's about to be night. Back here, I think I discussed it last video. We're going to put like some decorative gardens. So there's going to be maybe like a leaf maze or a bunch of rose bushes, something like that, and that's going to be the back here. It's going to be then like walled off, and then beyond that wall, I think more of the city will be there. And I mean, I don't want to make it too big because then I feel like it takes away from the rest of the city. This is not what I want the biggest building to be in like the city, the medieval-esque city that I'm going to be making. I have plans for bigger buildings. Take your guesses on what that might mean. But I want to make sure the museum is like big, but not too big that it takes away from other things. But anyways, now we can come down here to what I was working on outside of the time-lapse in just little clips. Between episodes, I laid out kind of a blueprint. So before the time-lapse, well, at the beginning of the time-lapse, this was my marker for how far I want this to go. Because right here, there's going to be another very small garden. And where this pink wall is, there's going to be a wall going down. And I just figured that would kind of break up this side, like this side from this side, where here is like a gradual slope down into where my starting builds are, and then this will just kind of be like a nice small drop, maybe like 6 or 7 blocks is what I'm kind of thinking. And then here, these 3 squares are houses. And then this is going to be where that tree I was talking about, I think 2 episodes ago, is going to go. And this white wool is where I'm going to kind of continue the path. I just wanted to get the shape of it around the buildings. And then, oh, my bed's down here. Well, we might as well go down here and see what I have been working on. There's been a lot of complications with this video. So, first of all, I didn't even think the audio problem is what I was going to be having, but that came out of nowhere. But before I realized that, oh my god. I hate things interrupting me. Before I had the audio issue, there was a power outage halfway through a part of the video that I was recording, so that was another problem I had. And I was doing this while I was doing that. I've completely lost my train of thought with all the stuff that's gone awry, but hopefully everything's good now. I'm a little worried my voice is too loud now, because I'm seeing it peak a little bit on the audio bar, so I'm gonna just try and keep my head away from the microphone for the rest of the video, and then I'll fix that later. But I was working on these cliffs. Let's get back on topic. This one down here is gonna be where the path continues along. I think it would be like, I realized about halfway through the time-lapse that if I kept gradually sloping it down, it was going to be completely in the way of the path. So I stopped it right here and planned to make it a short little drop-off. And so I was working on how to kind of detail it and stuff when the power outage happened. And then before I started working on this one, I had done this one up here. And these are not how they're going to look. The stone is just here as, like, I wanted to see kind of how the cliff would look when all the rock is in, like how it would kind of curve under, and if it would look good, or if I would need to change the shape of the terrain to make the cliff look better. But I do like both of the shapes of the cliffs. So then, I came up here to get some tuff. I had a hard time detailing with the full blocks, so I'm gonna make some slabs and stairs, because I mean it's just a lot easier to detail at a small scale with this stuff. And then the rest of the stuff in my inventory is like other gray blocks that I was hoping to maybe add just a little bit more texture in with. And we'll see if I can fit them in. The only one I've gotten in other than tuff right now is the andesite, because it's just like the same exact shade as stone. It's just like a slightly different, like a rockier texture. So yeah, let's get to work. I want tough boulders around the bottom here, like that. See, I would never have been able to get that if I just stuck with the full blocks, and for some reason I just refused to go and get slabs and stairs for a little while. But this, I think, gives it a nice rocky looking feeling. It kind of just fills out the bottom of the drop off more. I want to call it a cliff, but it's not really a cliff. It's tiny. The only real cliff is the one that we're gonna eventually do over here. And these guys keep popping up. You probably saw the Wandering Trader just doing all sorts of things during the time lapse. It had its llamas hanging off of the ground that I was building. I think every time lapse I have done on my channel, there's been a Wandering Trader that just waltzes on through like he owns the place and gets in the way of the time lapse. It's annoying. One of the biggest reasons I don't like the Wandering Traders. The other being, of course, they don't like ever give good stuff unless you're a super flat player, but that is a very small minority of people. I think that's good. I don't want to add too much to this here because I actually quite liked it before I added the slabs. I'm just going to leave it like that, just barely altered. I do like this one. I'm gonna maybe add one right here. Keep placing the slabs on top of things. Oh yeah, I think that looks nice. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it needs anything extra. I guess that, maybe? No, I don't actually like that. Okay, there we go. Don't need rotten flesh in my hotbar. So, and now that I've got the tuff down, actually I should add maybe a couple. You know, I said I wasn't going to get another elytra for a long time, but I think I just need to rip the band-aid off and do it. I'm probably going to have an elytra next episode, because this is just, it is so annoying to fall down and not have an elytra. What do we think of that? Can't really see it from down here. That looks alright. But I don't want it to just look alright. I want it to look good. One thing I was also worried about, which you might have seen in the time lapse, was being able to see the museum from all the way down here. One thing that a lot of really good builders in Minecraft talk about is like framing the main part of your build, like what you want the main attraction to be. And I want it to be the museum, at least where you are right here. Like, as you're walking along this specific path, and even over there, I want the museum to be the main focus. And it's going to be easier to see when I put the roof in, because it'll go up like another 10, 20 blocks. But I also wanted to make sure it was visible even from down here. And at first, it wasn't. So I had to remove stuff down here, which I don't know if that was in the time lapse or after I completed it that I did that. Oh, I have dirt there still. But I made sure you could see it from down here. So now it's nice and visible there. And I think with the tree in there, it should like it'll draw your eyes in towards that maybe, because hopefully I can kind of get the shape to go around up and over that little cliff there. I guess I'll just call them cliffs. Why not? So the next thing I need to do is figure out how to kind of like get an overhang with these grass blocks. I want to get some dirt here. A long time ago, like nearly 2 or 3 years ago now, before I accidentally deleted all of my super old worlds, which I regret doing, I made this huge mountain, and it didn't look very good, but it was more of like an experiment with terraforming and stuff. And I was very proud of it back then, and while I don't think I would be proud of it now, it did, I did use an overhang method on a cliff that I had on it that I really liked. So I want to try and get that here, but it might be better to connect it upwards and get rid of some of this grass and make it rockier up here. I am not sure how people do cliffs. It's like terraforming is just not something that comes natural to me. I suppose I could look at reference images, but I don't know if that would help. Maybe it would be easier with something like moss, which is what I used on the mountain, because you don't have to worry about the grass texture looking bad. I mean, what if... I'm just not good at this. I think it would be a lot easier to work right here if I filled that in, but that's for later. I can't yet. Well, since I am the master of stalling, we are just going to work on texturing out this stuff still. Just kind of getting some andesite in there so it's not all stone. And then from far away, it'll just look barely different, you know? Even from here, like, you can still tell pretty well, but it's not too, like, conspicuous. Jeez. I need to use easier words to remember, because in the middle of a video, I'll forget the word I'm trying to use, and then it'll be like 5 minutes before I remember it. Alright. This guy needs to get out of the way. We're gonna do that. Maybe we do tough there. I like that. I think we make this not grass. You know what? Maybe we get... I don't know how to make this lip look better. I would say using stone slabs and stairs to kind of like get it to cover up the grass that's on top, and then it would be better from up here as well because it's a more gradual like separation. But I don't think that would look too good. I don't know. I want an overhang specifically right here, so I'm gonna keep it kind of looking like that. Let me put these two back actually. But everywhere else, I want it to go up into the grass from the bottom. I'm gonna go up and see what I could maybe use. And I'll be back when maybe I've figured something out, because I don't wanna spend 20 minutes on camera just going, oh, no, not that, which I tend to do a lot. So let's just see if I can find anything. Alright, so I have to admit, I did a little more than look for blocks that may kind of fit. Let me grab... Oh, really? Why do I have that little? That pisses me off. I'm mad at myself for that. Why would I do that? An idiot. Alright. So I did a little more than just look at blocks. I looked up some images of terraforming, just because I'm very not good at it, and there's a certain YouTuber I know who is just the best. He's known for his terraforming, and that would be Good Times with Scar. I mean, if you haven't seen the cliffs that he makes, you should go and look at them. Watch a video or two, and it's amazing. And what I've noticed, what I saw in the videos, or I mean in the images, is that the cliffs, like, they kind of curve back in on themselves, and I mean that's how he makes the overhang. He, like, the cliff doesn't just go straight down, which is kind of hard to not do with just 3 blocks, but it would be more applicable up there, where it's a little bigger. It, like, say that first layer, here, I'll actually go up there. Right here, like the first 2 blocks maybe, on all 4 of these, would be right where they are, and then they would kind of go back in one, and that creates the effect of it kind of, it just makes the overhang easier. And while not all cliffs in real life look like that, it's, I think, a very nice way to make them in-game. And look, I mean, I feel like that just looks instantly better. And, like, you know, obviously I have to add the andesite back in and stuff, but I like this much better now that I've kind of done that. And I had that kind of idea. That's why I had the stone 1 layer back before. Oh wait, I forgot. I got rid of all the clips where I was doing this. So, in the clips that lost audio, I was determining whether I should have the stone 1 layer forward or backward from this grass layer up here. And I started with backward because it helped the grass kind of look like it was overhanging. But then I moved it to the front because I was like, that gives me more room to work with or something. I don't know. Weird logic by me, I feel like, but I did it, and all that just to say, like, I started by doing this kind of thing, just worse. But look at that. I think that looks a million times better. Oh my god, it adds a lot of shape to the cliff, and all I had to do was break a few blocks. I mean, look at that. That is so much more interesting than what it was before. So, thank you, as always, to Good Times with Scar. And go watch a video of his if you haven't. Because just looking at his cliffs helped me a lot with this. And it'll be even more applicable as most things will be on a larger scale. With this cliff that's going to go in over here also, I thought I filled that in. But I have a lot of ideas swimming in my head now for what I'm going to do over here. And I want, like, any kind of terraforming I do in this world, I want it to match all the other terraforming, so it has, like, continuity. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense, because if I make that cliff, like, out of deep slate, that doesn't make sense. Why is this one not made out of deep slate? They're, like, the same, it's on the same hill. So, I want continuity between all my landscaping and other stuff like that, like maybe like where the wind is blowing, something, just the little stuff that you wouldn't maybe normally think of if you're just kind of freehanding stuff. I want it to match up, which I have said a lot now. I'm sorry. Let me... Yeah... How can I make that thicker so it looks like it would actually support that, but... Maybe like that? You know, I didn't even think about how I could add stairs and slabs into this. I am really just off my game right now, apparently. Usually I'm all about just adding the little details, and I'm like, oh, I could do this and this and that. But I guess that's really just when I'm making regular structures. I never think about this kind of stuff when I'm terraforming. My terraforming is very boring, but I think it's definitely improved. Like in the last 5 minutes from just looking at some pictures. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this side here. I'll figure that out. Now, with doing this, like having done this, having done this, I can now maybe overhang the grass. Let me see if I like this. What if we do that? And then... Oh, wait. Wait, I kind of like that, actually. I was expecting it to be too heavy, like, to just look unsupported, but I kind of like it like that. I'm going to change that to a full block, I think. And then we can maybe put a slab there. I don't know, that doesn't really add anything. Oh my god. Oh. I can't believe I wasn't doing this the whole time. This is looking so much better. I don't know if I need that. How about let's... Yeah. But then it's too smooth up here. Alright, let's get the tuff out of the way. We'll add back in the tuff boulders after we're done with the main wall here. I don't know. I want to keep that clear. Yeah, no, I don't think anything looks good there. I want to keep it like that. Alright. Now let's get back to this. Well, okay, it looks a lot worse there. Let's see. Let's just do a little bit more along that layer. Okay, I really like how I did it here. I'm kind of absolutely hating how I've done it over here. Which, that's how a lot of things go. Let's sleep real quick. Okay. I'm gonna take that out, just for right now. Let's do over here first, because I'm kind of having trouble, so it'd be nice to get it done. Okay. Alright, I like that. Do I don't know if I have the hanging roots, but I think those would be really good to use. Let's see. It doesn't look like it. Okay, no. I don't think I do. So, I'll save that for later. I'll go and get some of those on my own. For right now, we're just gonna not focus on that. I'll just have to keep it in the back of my head to get that stuff for these little overhangs. So they would look pretty good, I think, with some of the hanging roots. Alright. That is gonna... That's gone. We're getting that out of here. It goes too far forward. Alright. Alright. Let's go like that. No. We'll just make it shorter over here. Because I'm not liking what's going on. Alright, yeah, I've forgotten I don't really need the grass blocks. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go get more, but I can just let the grass spread to the dirt. It's like the way making the overhang look like this works is that you really kind of need every other thing here to be on a different layer, otherwise it just looks very weird. Because why would it really be hanging over like this? You know, it's not going to be hanging over like a flat surface. I suppose I could use, like... Oh, I could do something like that. That does make it look a little better. Still, like, that just looks too heavy, I feel like. I don't think it would hold that weight. What about that? Okay. I need to find a way to make that look better. It's slowly getting worse again. Let me stop breaking stuff for a second. Let me just work over here for a minute. Maybe that'll get it. Kinda, I'll be fresh when I go back to the other one. It can't go out that far. The most I can go out, I think, is that much. What? Like, okay, so 2 from the stone. And even then, I think we need to add something there. Okay. Let's completely reset this up. I think that's the problem. Yep. No, this is way too large of a side. I had it way too flat here. That was my issue. Now, one problem is up here, it gets very close together, so I can't push it back too much. Let me see. How can I... give ourselves a bit more room there too, although it doesn't really matter over here. My inventory is full of, like, unstacked objects. Okay. I think that'll give it a much better chance of looking good. Because over here it looks the best because that, like, that's where there's the most change in direction. I don't even know. That's where there's the, like, least amount of just flat surface. And that's why it looks the best there. Alright, we're gonna keep that. Alright, that's good. I think that keeps it not too straight, not too crazy. what? There's just something that is not working right there. Let me see if I can figure this out, and I will be back when I do. And I might even get to work on that top one up there. And I am finally back from fixing up this cliff down here. I am not kidding when I say this thing took me at least 5 hours, and I'm still not fully satisfied with it, but I just decided to call it quits because I got it looking decent. I'm pretty okay with most of the places on it, and if I just sat there tweaking it until it looked perfect to me, then I would still be working on it until my netherite tools break 10 times over and I just die of old age. I would never get it done. You know what? I'm going to change this to cobblestone. There we go. I like that better. I wish there were a way that... I wish there were a way to make maybe this less flat. Because the grass just kind of goes straight into the cobblestone. Wait, oh. Maybe... Actually, we can just kind of make that dirt. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. So I've had to light it up down under here because it actually gets really dark under the dirt now. But as you can see, I've got tough boulders, some stone jutting out, and then what I really like that I managed to do is putting this cobblestone around the tuff, and I was a little hesitant to do it because when you're putting the blocks in, it looks like it would be really noticeable. Like that looks like it would stand out like oh my goodness. Well, that's a sign we need to end the video soon. I haven't stuttered like that in a while. You'd think it would stick out like a sore thumb, but really when you're running by, which is what I'm really going to be doing past here, if I'm not just flying over, like, up in the air, the cobblestone really just blends nicely into the tuff, I think. You know, you're just running along, and it's kind of the same color profile if you're, like, not looking straight at it. And they both have those rough textures, you know, so I put some over here too. And I really like it. And then, so that one took me, like, a really long time, like 5 hours after I ended up cutting. And then this one took me like 20 minutes at most. So, I guess once I got the hang of things, once I finally managed to make that one down there look decent, I just knew what I was doing up here. It's also smaller, so that probably worked to my benefit. So under here there's a bit more space than down there. I did go a little quickly, so it could be a little less polished than down there, but honestly I kind of like how it looks more. Obviously I've got the same boulders. Like I said, I want to keep the same kind of feel across all of my terrain. And then more of the cobblestone, and I really like what shapes you can get with the stairs and the slabs when you're doing like rocks and stuff. It's really nice. And then there's this little hollow here, and I just put a boulder there. One thing I want to do, which I think would be cool, would be just putting Easter eggs like all around the world. I think that could be cool, just for fun, like never show them on camera. Well, never show them when I'm building them, but then like they could maybe show up on camera for like a few seconds, and then someone could be like, why is there that random like cave there? And I don't know, something I was thinking about that could be interesting. Well, that's about it with the cliffs. I do want to just get the view from down here on camera because I really like it. So if you're looking up at the museum from down at the bottom here, I do not need any of this stuff anymore. Alright, so if you're looking up from the bottom here, which is where the main path is going to continue through here eventually, you get this really nice layered effect. So first you have the main one, which is right in front of you basically, and then you have the next cliff, which is kind of the second layer, and there was a bit. I feel like I had a better view before I started recording. There was like one specific spot I was able to get in that got a really nice... Okay. There was one specific spot that had a really nice angle of all the cliffs and stuff. But this will have to do. So then you have the second cliff, which is a little higher up, and that's just a nice kind of contrast to this. And then, while it's less visible now that I've put in both the cliffs, you can still see the museum pretty well, and I think it's, like, nicely kind of just in there. And we don't want it fully visible from down here, because then what's the point of going up the stairs to go see it, you know? And obviously, it's also very visible from over here, so it's not the biggest problem if it's kind of hard to see down under these cliffs, because the main attraction right here is the cliffs. I did not put in 5 hours of work on this thing for the tiny bit of museum you can see to be the main thing we're looking at here. So the cliffs are really what I want to focus on along this section of the path, and then as you go up you see, oh nice, we're like nice and cramped, there's a bunch of buildings, you really get the feel of this like medieval town. Well, more of a city, because they have giant buildings like this, and then you get up here, and you're, like, slammed with the museum. Wow, that is, man, that was a lot of work that we did today. Oh. I put on a setting that shows what song is playing, and I forgot to turn it off. I was curious what it looked like. So that's what that was. There is one last thing. Well, actually, there's a few things I want to do right before I wrap things up here, and the first of those is fixing up the path down below again, because I removed the bottom layer because I thought I was going to have one layer up, but I then right, so I think I did this off camera. I dug this area down 1 block again because I felt like it would give me more space to kind of flesh out the dirt on this cliff here, and I think it did. It was definitely a much quicker process once I finally decided to mine out the bottom layer. And if we go up here, for a little while, I was just working with the default terrain, but then after a little while I came up here and started moving this layer further to the cliff. So really this layer is kind of just like not its own layer anymore, it's just basically part of the cliff now. So I kind of was able to raise up the grass one, and that was just I was just able to make everything look kind of more fleshed out and even that way. And while it does look heavy on some of these parts, I think it's fine, because I mean this is a very strong looking base, you know. It's not like I feel like this would be a little extreme if it was like 100 blocks up on this giant cliff, but it's so close to the ground, I feel like, you know, it's really being held up by the stone here. You know, it kind of gets a little interesting here, but Even when I'm going for a realistic look, it is Minecraft. So that is one thing to remember. Let me get this in. There we go. So one last thing I want to do, I kind of want to add in walling on the sides here. Now, I'm probably going to do that with polished tuff to get a different texture. Because if I use the bricks, it just blends together and it doesn't really give a contrast there. And I don't think I've used polished tuff in the world yet, and I really like the texture, so I kind of want to utilize it. I will use the brick walls, but I think polished tuff for, like, the blocks under the walls here would look really nice. Let me see. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'll grab this stuff just in case. Man, my inventory hasn't been this cluttered in a long time. Yeah, well, this doesn't really help. I can stack both of those. I can't really complain about the clutter when I had like 4 spaces open. I was just hogging up. Alright. I have a little... I have a, like, new special thing that I want to start doing that I'm going to introduce at the very end of the episode here. Because I think it would be very, very interesting to start doing. And I wish I had started earlier, but unfortunately I did not. And I'll just have to deal with that. Alright. So, I kind of like that. And then, yeah, alright. Now, do we use that? Or, well, I didn't get the other wall. You know what? I don't even know if I want the walls here. Maybe I just use the blocks. I think I just used the blocks, actually. I'm just gonna put a slab on the first block. That way. Okay, where does the wall start? Right on this one. So that is the last one we need. And I'll put it right there. Alright, so now right here is where the planter is going to be for the tree, and so we don't need to worry about that being railed off. And I think this gives a good, like a nice, good separation from the dirt over here. The question now, though, is what do I use under here? Do I just use more polished? I don't know. It's like, I love this color of gray, but there's not a lot of other gray blocks that fit well with it, and then it's so it's kind of hard to find ways to make it not all blend together when you're using tuff. No, I don't hate it, actually. Let's take a look back here. If we're back here... I don't know. I'm not actually the biggest fan. I think what we need is something to go under the tuff blocks that is not the tuff bricks, or really just tuff in general. That, or we offset it, like we kind of go in one. So like, we do stairs there, stairs there. Wait. When did I break a block? Okay. Stairs there. Ah, but you still see the bricks. Alright, we do that. Then we put a slab there. I want to somehow make a small arch back here to just kind of make it a little more interesting. Maybe we do a full block there, and then right there we do that. That's it's not really what I'm looking for, though. Got stuff in here. Let me see what stone looks like, I guess. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. That's a very different color. Oh, you know what? The polished tuff, the texture is very similar to the other polished blocks. So I wonder if something like polished andesite would maybe kind of fit. Or maybe I could put that as the railings. And then that would make it a lot brighter. And then it wouldn't look so bad to have the bricks underneath the andesite. Yeah, that should be enough. Probably gonna need a few more tough bricks. That's good. Man, I can't believe there's so much land here now. It used to be such a large drop, and now it looks like it's just been there this whole time. Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to get slabs, but this is just for the concept. I'm not too sure. Wait. I see. So I don't know. I don't think it's very good. It's not what I was hoping for. And honestly, I don't even know if I'll have it on this side. Like, maybe the first, like, the last 2 or 3 blocks if you're coming down the path. But other than that, I want to have grass or other paths leading into other parts of the city, kind of. Although, this is an awkward place to put anything. Huh. Alright. We're not going to worry about that for now. Because we are running long on this video at this point. We're probably at the hour mark. So I want to do a little thing that I've been thinking about that involves actually the basement, which we haven't really done anything with for a while. The museum basement down here. So it will require moving some stuff around. Basically, I'm thinking I'll get rid of this. I mean, it's just a wood box. It's nothing special. I don't really need it enshrined like maybe I would want this house or this house, because I actually played a lot in both of these worlds, but I mean I played a lot in this Hardcore Season 5 world, but I just never got around to making a cool home, and I don't really feel like I need an oak box. So the plan is to completely change how this basement works, other than these two little areas. And I'll show you why right now. So let me... I don't know why I'm looking for stuff in there. That's not going to help me. What we need is paper. And you know what? Let's get some more. Wow. I have absolutely nothing paper-wise on this side of the world. I have to go all the way to my rocket paper gunpowder farm if I want any. Okay. We also need one of that. And unfortunately, we have to break down a block of iron. 4 of those. Now, you can probably see where this is going. Compass. Empty map. Alright. So. Oh, wow. That's not what I expected. This is the plan. We're gonna map out the world. Now, I wish I had done this at least twice already, considering... I mean, I wish I had managed to do it, like, when I just had the first house, and then maybe, like, when I first built the museum and it was still floating. But I'm doing it for the first time now, because it's the first time I thought of it, with all the big changes that I did today. I thought it would be a good idea to start mapping out the main base. And I think we're going to do the maps on like the second level of 4. I think that'll be like not too small, not too large. Let me get 4. Oh yeah, I have way too much dark oak planks now, thanks to... and logs. I'm overflowing on dark oak wood thanks to all of the trees that I had to excavate while doing the terraforming. Alright, so let's put this down here. And boom! Now that makes it a lot less detailed, but I think it'll be good in the future because as the base gets bigger, well, I don't know. You know what? I want to keep it at the lowest scale, actually. I've changed my mind. And we can just make it smaller scale if we need to in the future to keep the same size. But now I've got to make a bunch of compasses. What I'm thinking, I mean, I don't know how much, like how many sections I'll have to map out to get the full base, but I'm thinking 6. Alright. Oh, you can stack empty maps. Okay, I didn't know that. Alright, so let's just do the first one here. Get that bottom. Alright. So now, if we go down here, and this is all... So, what I'm planning on doing is going into all of these and completely changing them. God, glass is loud. That's ear-piercing. So, get rid of all of these walls in between. Change the walls, too, to something that isn't a fake sky. And then along these back walls, we put maps. So, what is... Oh! I was like, why do I have a giant hole to the abyss? But it's the geode portal failure. That's right. So I'm going to keep that open. And we can go in there and place the map. Although I will have to take it down when I go and renovate down there. But we'll just put it up for now, just because I really want to see this on a wall, fully laid out. Okay, I need to clean up my inventory. This is a nightmare. I can't believe I'm still running around with this much garbage. Well, it's not really garbage. It's garbage until I use it for building, and then as soon as I'm done with the building, it's garbage again. But nope. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good enough. That'll fit everything. Last thing I can put away is the white concrete. Okay, so we got the museum bit. Now we have to get the other half of the museum, so let's get that. Get out of here. Alright. I think that gets everything, because I have nothing past the very edge of that grass over there, so we should be good. And once I'm fully done mapping all this out, let me sleep so I don't get blown up while I'm doing this. I want to remap the base every 10, maybe 15 episodes. So the next one would be either episode 40 or 45. I'm just gonna go off of from 30, even though it's obviously episode 31. Alright, let's see, where is this? Oh, wow. I love the noises the gas makes. Even if it's annoying, like super annoying, I do like it. Anyways, let's see. So, Yeah, this is the map next to this one. All right. So we need. Do we need? I don't think we need one up there. But to fill out the map, I should get that. Let's see first. I might have to do 8 wide in that case. Alright, this should be a new map. Let me make sure. Yes. Oh, I like how the farm looks. That's really nice. Alright. Another new map. Just trying to get the bottom here. Alright, there we go. So, let's think about this. What is this one? Alright. So these two are good. That goes up there. This. That goes under. So we're. No. Is that it? Okay, I need to start laying these out to kind of fully understand what's going on here. Alright, I'm gonna get these laid out in the museum, get the rest of the maps we need, and then I'll just cut back to that, because we are definitely running long at this point. Alright, so I've figured it out. I have just barely enough. This is the last map, and I only need one more to fill out the full base. I've actually gotten everything that I've built, but I just need to get the, like, even shape. Otherwise it would look weird. Alright, there we go. And then I didn't actually get this one fully mapped, so gotta run down here real quick, but then we will have our full map. It's actually not as big as I thought it would be, and it's more vertical than horizontal. I thought it was going to be horizontal, but it's vertical. In terms of, like, shape, which is a shame because I'm definitely going to have to change the shape in the future. I could just waste maps on mapping the stuff around the base that I haven't built on yet. So I might do that. But I don't know, because it's 3 maps tall. I guess I ended up building vertically, map-wise, which I didn't know I was doing. Because, I mean, I wasn't really taking into account the fact that I might be mapping the base in the future, so I wasn't really considering any, like, precautions I might have to take. Just building where I wanted. Alright. Here we go. That is our base on episode 31. But technically episode 31, but I'm gonna say it's episode 30. Let's see. So, obviously, this is the windmill right there with the farm around it. And then we've got the failed portal and enchanting building, which are definitely going to be gone by the next time we map everything. Hopefully, that's the plan that I have. Then we have the starter house, which you can see even on the map has not been repaired yet. So I definitely need to get to work on that. And then we've got the museum with my tree getting some time in the limelight because I have not built the roof yet. And then it's really weird. They make tough this like dark gray color. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna raise the floor because it's actually really hard to see from this layer. I wish I had a hoe. It's so annoying without one. Because you don't think you need one until you come across the 2 blocks in the game that are just instantly mined by a hoe. And you wish you had your hoe. But you don't, because you lost it in lava while you were trying to get obsidian for no reason. Okay. So, I might even have to raise the roof. Although, I probably won't do that because I'm lazy and I don't want to cause problems for the terraforming that I've just done. But now we can get a better look at it. So, I wish it didn't show where it was, like where you have it on an item frame on the map. But I don't think I can really do anything about that. So that's how we're going. Oh yeah, I was wondering why, like, did an Enderman move a sandstone block? But that's the pillars I have on the inside. Wow. Well, I am glad I did that. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna move the map over 1 tile. And, I mean, this is an expensive thing to do, but I feel like I have enough paper. Alright, that's in the middle. This one. I did not guess right. Danny. Alright, there we go. So, once I mean, this is not how it's going to look, obviously. At some point, I'm going to come down here, renovate this whole hallway into, like, having nice frames for the maps. I'm going to see if I can change the flooring from moss, obviously, but also this tuff. I want to raise it up to this level, but I also don't want the map touching the floor, so we'll see what I can do. I'll be working on that, and also just some little things around the terrain that I built today. Just cleaning it up, stuff like that, and then next time... Well, next time, we're probably going to skip out on the terrain. There's still a lot more terrain to be done, but I'm going to leave it for an episode or 2. And we are going to still be working around here. We're not going over to the farming area. And I've just not had the itch to build any farms, nor have I had the necessity. I didn't even really need the colored wool farm, considering I haven't used any colored wool yet, but hopefully I get the chance to in the future. We are still going to be working around here, probably going to do this area, working on actually getting buildings there. Well, ow. And that's about it for this episode. So, I mean, now that we're back down here at the cliff that took me forever, well, have a great rest of whenever it is. Thanks for watching. If you watched at all or all the way through, even more thanks. And go eat a chocolate bar if you like chocolate. I'll see you next time.